Most people remember one, two, or more students from way back in school who just couldn't keep up with the rest of their class academically. And if you're among them, life was never easy. The losses were numerous: time, esteem, marks, and the stress that comes with it. Some drop out of school, others fall victim to early marriages, others commit suicide, while others live with lifelong scars of the mistreatment they underwent. Gedion Kyalo, founder and director of Goodrich Group of Schools and Goodrich Foundation, among other companies and institutions, is a prime example of a slow learner. He grew up struggling through school owing to his inability to cope with the speed at which most of his classmates studied.
I was a slow learner, and I will not be able to get the concept which I enjoyed the school, and it made me to give many classes so that I can be able to catch up with the life.
Setting up the foundation was part of his efforts to correct the situation in which students are subjected to unfair treatment by parents, teachers, and fellow students for their slow pace in grasping academic concepts.
Many parents, especially during my school time, the teachers were so bitter about me, and they abused me, and they are arrogant among me, and also they usually beat me because I could not get things in the quick way like the other children. And this made me to be tortured a lot. It also forced me to get involved with the crimes, stealings, and also in other affair relationships for my comfort.
Learning disabilities are nothing new in the teaching profession, but lack of understanding on how to approach different needs that learners require has caused untold suffering to pupils and students. Not surprisingly, also, the frequency of learning challenges is quite high. No classroom is spared of this special population segment. Mrs. Carol Mulandi is a long-time educationist, currently serving as the academics director at Goodrich Schools.
In every 10 children, you will find a child with a learning difficulty, and also sometimes we call them special needs because they are spread. The challenges differ from, you find one has this challenge, another one has this disability, and at the end of the day, these disorders impede learning.
Specific learning disabilities, sometimes called specific learning disorders, potentially impact on a student's performance at school. They include dyslexia, a specific learning disability in reading; dysgraphia, a specific learning disability in written expression; dyscalculia, a specific learning disability in mathematics; dyspraxia, children with sloppy homework, disorganization, messy handwriting. It is a neurological disorder that affects ability to plan and process motor tasks.
These learners may have difficulties, but you cannot say now because they appear to have difficulties, they are not going to learn. They learn. Every learner can learn, but learn differently.
Dr. Mary Runo is a senior lecturer at Kenyatta University and an expert in special needs education. She has amassed a wealth of knowledge over years in learning disabilities and available interventions.
Out of about 14 different disabilities, learning disabilities is the highest. And we normally say it has between 14 to 30% of children in every 100. Yeah, you get between 14 children to 30 children in every 100. Now, dyslexia is a term out of the learning disabilities. And I know this country, we are really looking at dyslexia, but I would go for learning disabilities because it's the umbrella term. And the umbrella term has dyscalculia, it has dyslexia, it has so many of them.
Common specific needs include learning difficulties, communication challenges, emotional and behavioral disorders, physical disabilities, and developmental disorders. Learners with these kind of special needs require additional educational services, different approaches to teaching, access to a resource room, and use of technology. Joseph Duku is the principal of Goodrich Schools. In his opinion, tailor-made teaching approaches for each student go a long way in addressing learning challenges, especially among slow learners.
An effective teacher should be able to apply differentiated teaching approaches, where he is able to take the needs of every category of learner. Among those learners in particular are the slow learners. Unfortunately, various factors have contributed to the tendency not to take stock of the needs of those learners and do what they can be able to do to assist them.
Research indicates that in the learning setup, when slow learners are accorded effective modified instruction, they often achieve moderate degrees of academic success. But how do students turn out to be slower than others in grasping concepts in class? First, they have to be born or acquire the condition and need assistance, fair platforms, simple systems and language to academically succeed and thrive in their businesses.
What could be the causes? The causes are many. There are very, very many. One of them would be hereditary. Others could be environmental. Others could be just like drugs. Yeah, like probably an expectant mother took drugs when she was expecting, or maybe the child got maybe conversions. You know, those infantile conversions, and after treatment, the child never came back to normal again.
The foundation advocates for appropriate teacher training that will enable them to identify the red flags of learning difficulties at an early age.
Everybody has something, and it takes a very talented teacher to find out. Sometimes a teacher may overlook, or sometimes they brand the child and say that child does not understand, that child is low, which is very bad.
Kenya, on the other hand, has been gunning for the competency-based curriculum to address the issue of tapping student capabilities and harnessing talents. Wilson Sosion is a teacher by profession and Secretary General of Teachers Union, the Kenya National Union of Teachers.
In statistics of measurement and evaluation, there is what you call the normal curve. There will be fast learners, and there will be very slow learners at the very end, and there will be majority of the population of learners at the average in the middle. And in good teaching with a good teacher, you must cater for the individual differences, not only for slow learners, also cater for fast learners.
But for a long time, deficiency in the education system, manpower and resource challenges have let talented but academically challenged students fall out along the way.
And also I want to push the government of Kenya so that they can also come with the methods in the training institutions, how to train the teachers, and that can be one of the topics in their curriculum, so that they can know how they are going to train the teachers. They have something during their curriculum, how to train the teachers.
A child is not only IQ. A child also has multiple intelligences. And every child has more than one intelligence. You'll find a child who is very, very good in, it's not good in academics, but very good dancer. Why can't we have that academy? Why can't we have that person to do very, very well, who is doing very well in dancing, to go to the academy for dancing and have a career? Why can't we have somebody who is very good in oral? Yeah, you know, those people who are very good, you know, the good people who are speakers, you know, public speakers. But they are not very good in many other things. But you see, that is a career. So our curriculum need to look at the diverse or the diversity of a child.
It is with this in mind that Goodrich Foundation will organize sensitization and awareness campaigns and create forums for professional development courses. The foundation will also conduct county and national nomination for teachers who have created impact in supporting students with learning challenges, and the best will be rewarded.
And also we also need to move to the employers and also to the people who appreciate. When the results are announced in any sector, you find people are celebrating only the children who are bright. But the children who are slow learners, who may not have achieved anything, they are ignored. So they feel demotivated, and that's why we have heard some of the parents, they beat their children to death. The other children, they do suicide. When they do this suicide, they do this one because of what? They are ignored.
Among notable people who rose from learning challenges onto greatness include famed scientist Albert Einstein, who struggled with speech and arithmetic. A teacher once remarked that nothing good would come out of him. He won the Nobel Prize in 1921. Sir Richard Branson, owner of Virgin Airlines, struggled with dyslexia but made it in business. Gedion Kyalo too has done well for a person who was written off by teachers and stigmatized for his inability to cope with classwork.
I took 14 years in primary school instead of 8 years. And I said, one day I will start a school so that I can be able to become an example, then a foundation which will move across the globe to fight against the torture I went through.
I would advocate for people to actually come out and actually speak for these children. Just like the unionists will come out and speak for the workers.
The Foundation's vision holds that scholastic inability should not be a key indicator towards judging or charting a learner's path in their academic life. Some abilities take time to be recognized, while others require affirmative action. And all learners in Kenya have the right to acquire the best possible forms of education as envisioned in the Kenyan Constitution.
I don't want another child to go the same procedure I passed who is behind me.